Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most exciting parts of the ball python hobby, breeding projects. Whether you're a seasoned keeper looking to take the next step or a newcomer fascinated by genetics, this video is for you. We're going to break down how to select the perfect breeding stock to create some absolutely stunning snakes. So grab a notepad, because we're about to get into the good stuff. First things first, what exactly is a breeding project? Simply put, it's a plan to combine specific genetic traits from two parent snakes to produce offspring with a desired appearance or morph. The key to a successful project is starting with the right animals. You can't just throw any two ball pythons together and hope for the best. You need a goal, and you need the right ingredients. Let's talk about the foundation of any project, selecting healthy, high-quality breeding stock. This is non-negotiable. Look for snakes that are well-established feeders. Have a good body condition, not too skinny, not overweight, and are free from any health issues like respiratory infections or mites. A healthy snake is a productive snake. Ask the breeder about the animal's history, its lineage, and its temperament. A good breeder will be transparent and happy to answer all your questions. Remember, you're investing not just money, but also time and care. So start with the best you possibly can. Now let's get into the fun part, genetics. You'll hear two very important terms, heterozygous and homozygous. Understanding these is crucial. Let's break it down. Heterozygous, often shortened to het, means an animal carries one copy of a recessive gene. It doesn't show the trait visually, but it has the genetic code for it hidden inside. Think of it as a secret ingredient. Homozygous, on the other hand, means the animal has two copies of the recessive gene, one from each parent. This is when the magic happens, and the snake visually expresses the trait. For example, a piebald ball python is homozygous for the piebald gene. A snake that is het for piebald looks like a normal ball python, but carries that piebald gene. So, how does this play out in a project? Let's use the stunning piebald morph as our first example. Piebalds are famous for their beautiful white patches. The piebald gene is recessive. To produce a visual piebald, you need both parents to contribute a copy of that gene. The most straightforward way is to breed two visual piebalds together. If you do that, 100% of their babies will be visual piebalds. Simple, right? But what if you only have one visual piebald? You could breed it to a snake that is heterozygous for piebald. In that pairing, on average, half of the babies will be visual piebalds, and the other half will be heterozygous for piebald. They look normal, but they carry that secret ingredient. You could even breed two het for piebald snakes together. In that case, you'd expect about a quarter of the clutch to be visual piebalds, half to be heterozygous, and a quarter to be normal with no piebald gene at all. It's a numbers game, a roll of the genetic dice. Let's move on to another incredible recessive project. Axanthic ball pythons lack yellow and red pigments, resulting in a snake that's a stunning mix of black, gray, and silver. They look like they've stepped right out of a black and white movie. Just like piebald, the axanthic gene is recessive. So the same rules apply. You need two copies of the gene to get a visual axanthic. But here's a twist. There are several different incompatible lines of axanthic. The most common ones are VPI, TSK, and Jolliffe. This is super important. If you breed a VPI axanthic to a TSK axanthic, you won't get any axanthic babies. You'll just get double het babies. They'll carry both genes, but they won't be visual. For an axanthic project to work, you must stick to the same line. Always confirm the genetic line of your axanthic stock before you make a purchase. Now, let's talk about leveling up. What happens when you start combining these recessive traits? This is where things get really exciting. Imagine a snake that is both piebald and axanthic. This is called a combo morph. An axanthic piebald is an absolutely mind-blowing snake. It has those classic piebald white patches, but instead of the normal brown and gold, the colored parts are that beautiful silver, black, and gray. To create an axanthic piebald, you need parents that can contribute both the axanthic gene and the piebald gene. The ultimate goal is an animal that is homozygous for both traits. One way to do this is to start with a snake that is a visual axanthic and also heterozygous for piebald. and breed it to a snake that is a visual piebald and heterozygous for Axanthic. It's a long-term project, but the payoff is one of the most sought-after designer morphs in the hobby. Let's explore another top-tier recessive project. The Desert Ghost, or DGs, are phenomenal. They have a clean, reduced pattern and colors that seem to get brighter and more intense with age. They're famous for how they enhance other morphs. When you combine the Desert Ghost gene with other genes, it cleans up the pattern and makes the colors pop like you wouldn't believe. For example, a Desert Ghost pastel yellow belly is just out of this world. The DG gene makes the yellows almost glow. Like our other examples, Desert Ghost is a simple recessive trait. So to make a visual DG, you need 2 copies. You can start with 2 hets, or a visual and a het. Because DG is such a powerful enhancer, many breeders work on creating het D versions of other morphs, with the long-term goal of producing visual DG combos. Finally, let's touch on a newer and extremely exciting recessive project, the Monarch. Monarch is a gene that creates these wild, pixelated patterns with rich, deep orange and brown coloration. It almost looks like digital camouflage. It's a relatively new gene, which means it's still quite rare and valuable. The genetic rules are the same. It's recessive, so you need 2 copies to see it. Starting a Monarch project today is getting in on the ground floor of something that's going to be huge. You might start by acquiring a het for Monarch animal and raising it up. Since they are rarer, finding a visual Monarch to pair it with might be a challenge. So a common strategy is to get 2 het Monarch animals and breed them together. This is a perfect example of how patience is a virtue in this hobby. It might take a few years, but imagine being one of the first to produce visual Monarch combos. That's cutting-edge stuff. So, to recap, your project starts with selecting healthy, top-quality animals. Understand the difference between heterozygous carrying a hidden gene and homozygous visually expressing the gene. Whether you're drawn to the classic beauty of a piebald, the monochrome elegance of an Axanthic, the enhancing power of a Desert Ghost, or the futuristic pattern of a Monarch, the principles are the same. Plan your project. Know what your goal is. Are you trying to make a simple visual recessive? Or are you embarking on a multi-year quest for double or triple recessive combo morph? Your goals will determine which snakes you buy. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Talk to experienced breeders, join online communities, and do your research. The more you learn, the more successful and rewarding your projects will be. This hobby is all about passion, patience, and a love for these incredible animals. Creating a new combination of genes and seeing those babies hatch is a feeling like no other. It's a mix of science, art, and a little bit of luck. I hope this guide has given you a solid starting point for your own breeding project adventures. What projects are you working on or dreaming about? Let me know down in the comments. I love hearing about what you all are creating. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more ball python content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.